Alright. Welcome to our first day. Our first day of Trihard Tuesdays. So, moving forward on Tuesdays, depending on how the viewer count goes. If the viewer count is bad, we're going to go back to doing full viewer deck list. But I'm interested to see what the numbers look like. So, Wizards of the Coast announced that at the end of every season, the top 1,000 players are going to get to play in a weekend tournament to qualify them for larger in-person events. So my goal is to play enough reasonable decks one day a week to keep myself in the top 1,000 on the ladder, along with the other reasonable decks that just get submitted by viewers. So on Tuesdays moving forward, at least for this month, I am going to be skipping the deck queue and playing all decks that I want to play on Tuesdays. So the other 4 days of the week are still going to be deck queue days like normal. But today, we are going to be playing decks that I like. This is my favorite deck in the format. This is the one I made the finals of Twitch Rivals tournament with. I went 6-2 at the Nerd Rage event this last weekend. It's a deck that pulled us into Mythic last season. Temur Climb. I think this deck's a lot of fun. We're going to go ahead and dive into some matches with it. I'm excited that video coverage is coming back to tournaments. I'm excited that arena tournaments are going to get coverage. I don't know. Paper coverage versus arena coverage is like kind of medium. Like paper coverage just isn't accessible in the same way that digital magic is accessible. Yeah, that's fine. I have no idea. Been that, looking for some lands. The Sultai matchup is a little bit hard for this deck. It's especially hard when they have their Wildgrowth Walker starts here, so probably going to be a tough one for us, at least for the first game. I think I'm going to leave that there because it's basically going to dig us to more lands, which is what I want to happen at this point. Yikes. For some of the tryhard days, I'm going to dig down into the queue and propel decks up that otherwise would have been waited to be played. So for instance, Temur Climb was already in the queue, but it wasn't going to get played for It wasn't going to get played for like another 3 or 4 days, so I bumped it to the top. I mean, they're just gonna like play a Jadelight Ranger here, and then we can just never win, because they're gonna gain 12, like undo everything we've done. Really? Okay, and the no Jadelight, no hostage taker here is very good for us. And then I guess with the they probably have a removal spell, right? That's what's gonna happen. There's probably a Vraska's Contempt. Oh, how badly do I want to get blown out by removal? We're getting finality next turn, right? That's what this is. Okay, so I'm going to play the Branchwalker to dig to a land. Yeah, so this way, after they finality us, we Ravager Wurm, kill them. The double block was a finality. Okay, sweet. So Ravager Wurm is lethal. Driving in my worm, beep beep. You cannot beat the Sultai deck with this deck going long. You have to be aggressive and kill them. That's one of the things that I was doing wrong early in trying to figure out how this matchup was supposed to work. I was being too defensive and too interactive. And I think the just try to kill them plan is better. So I think I actually trim a couple of Krasis in this matchup. Just for the sake of punching through. Honestly, maybe some of these Incubation Incongruities are supposed to come out too, just because I don't have the high creature count here. Leave a couple of Wildgrowth Walkers in. I don't think I want all of them, but some of these with Explore creatures can help punch through. I'm gonna give this a try. I'm still trying to feel out exactly how I want this matchup to go. It's possible that Frilled Mystic is better than Hydroid Krasis here at the top end too. I could definitely see this card being better, especially on the play. Disdainful Stroke's very good here because it counters Hostage Shaker, which is a card that we care a lot about. I think it's possible that I want Frilled Mystic here more than something else. You're not wrong that drawing a red source with your Lava Coil definitely helps. Yeah, like this Krasis seems real mediocre here. Growth Chamber Guardian's not a bad hit. Yeah, this is probably a game we can't win. Like, untap and play Hostage Taker, we're gonna die. Alright, it's not a Hostage Taker, so we got that going for us. Oh, so they're exiling that. I think I'm gonna contempt this, or stroke this. Probably dead here. I'm gonna no attacks here because I can trade here, double block here. But again, we We don't win this match with it going long. So at this point, the game's getting set up to go long, which is really bad for us. Next one. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded here. I think 2 Krasis is fine. Sand's okay. Growth Chamber Guardian's a great pickup here. It's real aggressive real fast. They have an elf, so that's real bad for us. Incongruity's okay. It's not amazing. It's like also not terrible. Okay, just go ahead and pass here. Leave the Disdainful Stroke up / Growth Chamber Guardian activation depending on what they do. They didn't have a 3 mana play, so I feel like there's a good chance they have a 4 mana play. Really? Sure. Lava Coil here. So they've got a Jadelight Ranger we're just gonna get got. I'll update the stream decker. Must have forgotten to re-export after I made the last change. So they can Finality this turn and make this a 3/5. And then I can play Ravager Wurm as a 5/6 next turn. Oh, that's really good for me. Are they dead? I think they're dead. Yeah, they're dead. Ravager Wurm's a heck of a drug. Like I said, the Sultai matchup's hard. When the game goes long, you basically lose. So you need to not do your best to not let the game go long. So you need to assume an aggressive role and try and run them over. There might even be you want to get your deck played on stream, submit it through the deck queue like anything else. I am not going to be catering to people asking me to play specific things on Tuesdays. So this is a free comment to the mods and for mods and people to be aware of. I'm going to be timing out and having mods time out anybody asking for specific decks that they think are competitive to be played on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are I am going to be picking. If you would like to see something else played, submit it through the queue to be played on one of the many other days of the week that we'll still be doing that. You can reroll 1 quest per day, so you should basically always reroll your 500 gold quest because you could get 750 gold quests. How much money to get a deck played on a Tuesday? $250. This deck's very reasonable against Esper, especially post-board. Our creatures generate a lot of card advantage and put a reasonable amount of pressure into play pretty quickly. Yeah, I chose Tuesday because looking at my stats, I have less viewers on average most Tuesdays for the last couple of months. So, I was thinking today would probably have less viewers on average if I'm playing decks that I care about versus viewer-submitted decks, so it made sense to do it on the less popular day. I think I'm gonna put this to 2 and then flip my climb. Do I want to just hit this and like play 2 more out? I probably just want to hit this and play 2 more out, actually. Alright, well that worked out worse than expected. Correct. You also get to call it Trihard Tuesday, which is just good value. Rolls off the tongue. No, I made the decision for which day was going to be Trihard Tuesday the same way I make all my other meaningful decisions, based on data points. Man, I can put them to 1 here. They have another blink. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to put them to 1. I agree. See, putting them to 1 here makes me like think like, did I miss a point of damage at any point this game? Did you look at all the data, and if so, what does all the data mean? Asking the real questions. Sultai Climb is a grindy mid-range deck. This is an aggro deck. So, the red cards like Colossus and like Ravager Wurm allow you to be more aggressive than you can be in a Sultai shell. Yay, magic! Yay, Nexus of Fate! I actually think this deck is a good Nexus of Fate matchup, but just, you know, Nexus feels miserable to lose to, even if your matchup's good. Vivien versus third climb. Vivien versus third climb. Vivien versus third climb. I'm gonna leave the third climb in. Explain why Wurm is important. Ravager Wurm kills Flip Dazcanta. It kills Archivore Zaka. It kills their land that draws 2 cards. Kills a lot of their stuff, basically. Alright, well, Llanowar Elves it is, I suppose. I don't always cut Incubation when I have high impact creatures in a matchup. So like, for instance, in this matchup, having access to In this matchup, having access to Thrashing Brontodon and stuff like that's very potent. I think I just climbed the elf here and attack for 2. I think next turn it's going to be Growth Chamber, Fart Growth Chamber, Hadana's Climb, Flip on Growth Chamber. And then we'll have a lot of pressure in play alongside Negate very quickly. Interesting they kept a card on top and are then opting. Deal. Maybe I'm just supposed to go Stomping Ground, Growth Chamber, hit it with this. I'll hold Negate up next turn. Or am I just supposed to play the elf? It's possible I'm just supposed to play the elf. I'm just going to play the elf. I think I'm actually going to target the elf this turn. So this way, next turn I can go activate this, hold up Negate, and flip this, which is nice. So now I have a Negate. And they're dead next turn. Although I guess it's worth noting, I can't Winged Temple. I can't Winged Temple and hold up Negate next turn. So, like, am I supposed to attack with both of these? If I hit them to 11, next turn I can activate this. So if I hit them to 11 with this, and then play Growth Chamber Guardian off of this and this, I can have 11 in play without activating Winged Temple, so I can still hold Negate up. So I'm just going to attack for 5 here. I should probably play this out pre-combat, actually. So now I have a lethal attack next turn while holding Negate up, which is ideal. There's only 4 cards in their bin here, so I think I'm supposed to just let this resolve. Nah, I'm gonna try and stop him. Okay, actually this doesn't matter. They've been to Root Snare. That doesn't bode well for us. What's going on, Steve? Thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Okay, so opponent messed up there. They should have root snared during my upkeep because I could have drawn a counterspell to punish them. We did not, so we died. It's gonna be interesting. I feel like 1 or 2 days of this also might make me quickly remember why we just play decks out of the queue instead of trying to win, because like there's a lot of variance in Magic the Gathering. So like there's a very real chance, even just playing decks that I like today, that we just sit here and rubber band up and down on the ladder, just winning, you know, barely more than 50% of our matches. If your only goal while playing Magic is trying to win, you're probably going to have a miserable time. So, by that virtue, this is probably a bad idea. El Dougaletes, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't know what I want to do with this incubation yet, so I'm just going to put this into play tapped. No, I don't really care about my win percent. It's like when people come in and ask what our record was with the deck. It doesn't really matter. Could be Esper, could be blue-black mid-range. The best players in Magic generally have a less than 70% win rate at top levels of Magic the Gathering tournaments. So I would classify that as a lot of variance. Alright, they've been to Disinformation Campaign, which I think means doesn't mean I want to do that. Disinformation Campaign means they're probably on a 4X Hostage Taker main deck, which kind of means I want to save this, I think, as a removal spell. Correct, Rexbox. Thanks for the Prime support, Kriko. Hope you're having a good one. That's a reason to be happy that I left Incongruity in my hand. Just go ahead and zap that. Have a 3/3. Yeah, that's how all of Magic works. Anyone that top 8s any tournament anywhere has ran hot to do so. I think there's like 40 different decks you could play to Mythic in this format. And I think Gates is one of the 40 decks on the list. I think so many people are so worried about, is their deck the secret special sauce? Is their deck better than everything else? And just that's not how well balanced Magic formats work. The reason why this format is good is because there isn't one deck that's just infinitely better than everything else. Like, there's so many things that are super reasonable, and Gates makes the list. Gates has a number of good matchups and has a number of bad matchups. I think this is one of the best. This is my favorite deck in the format as far as competitive decks are concerned. It looks like we're about to be 1 and 2 on the ladder to start our session with it today. It's just how Magic goes sometimes. People are always so worried about, is their deck good, as opposed to worrying about, do they enjoy playing their deck and can they win games of Magic with it? Yeah, you can win games of Magic with anything. Just play reasonable cards and play good Magic. Getting timed out loses you your Sword Demox. So this is definitely a Collision Colossus matchup. I think it's at least a couple Wild Growths out. I probably want the Disdainful Strokes for potential sweepers, as well as as well as what's it called? Hostage takers. Give this a try. I don't think I want Negate in this matchup because they have Hostage Taker and Thief of Sanity, which is a little bit awkward. I don't think I want Lava Coil. Yeah, that's basically what people want, Gore. They're looking for like the deck that wins 90% of the time that no one else gets to play. And it's like, well, that's not how it works, right? Like if there's actually a deck that's that much better, everyone's gonna play it. You're just gonna play a bunch of mirror matches, and then the mirror match is gonna pull you back down towards 50%. Like, is Lava Coil better than Collision because of Hostage Taker? I can see that being the case. I'm gonna split these. I'm not sure which is actually better. Being able to punch through blockers and have extra reach is nice on occasion. I think they also play the 6/6 demon, which makes Collision Colossus good. No, my oldest is only 5, and he hasn't really shown interest in games. Declan likes to drag cards around on MTG Arena, so I think he'll probably be into it at some point. Nice duress. Yeah, I agree, Polly. They're to be fair, in their defense, they're trying to sell something that other people are looking to buy, right? Like they're looking to sell that special sauce. Like I mean, like, let's be honest about life, right? Like being honest doesn't really get you very far a lot of the time. It gets you on blacklists. It gets people upset with you if you're too honest. Hey, Cryptball, thanks for the support. I appreciate that. I agree. There's a lot of real people who prefer people that are incredibly honest. So, I have 2 different lines here, all of which start with me attacking for 4, so let's do that. So I could Baby Krasis to block, but like, their deck is incredibly likely to have a removal spell next turn, right? So I think I'd rather play 2 creatures out here just so I can threaten to race them. Because 2 creatures race better through a removal spell. So I think I'd rather just put a bunch of dorks into play here. Frilled Mystic looking incredibly awkward, much worse than a removal spell would be. So, like, imagine if this Frilled Mystic was a Lava Coil or a Collision Colossus here, I'd be in an amazing spot. That's something that I like to think about in spots like this. Like, how much better would I be if I had sideboarded slightly differently? That's interesting. Huh. So they gave me my... So I was just going to play Krasis for 3. But now... No, I didn't want them to have a 2-drop, Kriko. I binned the Merfolk Branchwalker because I explicitly didn't want them to have a 2-drop. Because a 2-drop would enable them to double spell here. So I think I just make this a 4/4 and then play another one, right? Because they're at 8. No, we started with Modern this morning, Davis. We do a Magic Online League every morning to start. I don't know how often I have to say that until people realize I mean every morning. Land. Incubation Incongruity. That's a sweet one. So, do I just exile this and then attack for 8? Yeah, it's like Ralph Levy with the Merfolk deck, right? Like, the Merfolk deck, Ralph did okay with, but the rest of his team kind of failed. You think I want to exile inside of combat? I could attack with everything and exile inside of combat. Yeah, that's probably the line, actually. Yeah, this way they guaranteed lose their thief. Yeah, I like that line. So we trade, they go to 2. So they have to jump block. We get to pass with Frilled Mystic up. I know there's Moto every morning, but then I assumed that there wasn't this morning. I think I want this last Lava Coil. I'm gonna trim one of these. Yeah, let's do this. I don't think I think 4 removal spells is fine here. These are 4 more kinda. Hey, Wagner, thanks for the 6 months in a row. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And then Collision greater than Coil because they do Whisper. No, they also have Hostage Taker. And I think I care more about Hostage Taker than I care about Doom Whisperer. He's playing my Incongruity is good because it's flexible. Incongruity is a card that turns into a creature when you need threats, and it's a card that allows you to take a must-answer threat off the table, even if they do get something else out of it. It's your sideboard plan for Esper Control. You can find a bunch of sideboard plans in the full sideboard guide that's linked on the Temur Climb page on my website. JeffHoagland.com, Standard Decks, Temur Climb. CN needs some lands, but we're on the draw, and I've got a Merfolk Branchwalker. I've never seen you use Incubation. I'd encourage you to go back and watch one of the half a dozen other times we've played this deck. And it's actually, like, pretty okay against Thought Erasure, just because we have so many 2-drops. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see them take Merfolk Branchwalker here, but I guess if they have a removal spell, they might take the first Growth Chamber and then want to kill the second. Definitely gonna lead on Merfolk Branchwalker here. I think that's fine. Hey, Goosner, thanks for the Prime support. Hope you're having a good one. Wouldn't mind finding another Explorer creature here. Perfect. I'm gonna give them the option to kill this. They're gonna kill something at some point, and like, I don't have 2 more lands lined up guaranteed here, and I kind of just want to use my mana this turn. Anecdotal evidence, the Twitch chat story. There we go, never didn't have it. Perfection. Anecdotal. An anecdote is a specific instance or story about something. So anecdotal evidence refers to when a person takes a specific instance of something happening and then uses that instance to extrapolate that that thing is the norm or always happens. It's something that's very common in probability-based games like Magic the Gathering. Something you see happen very frequently. We often refer to it as being results-based as well. Oh, do I just play a 5/6 here? No, those words are different. Hearsay and anecdote are different. Those words have different definitions. They're not synonyms. Yes, anecdotal evidence can be used to prove something is possible, not show that it is likely. Oh, I feel like I'm just supposed to play a 5/6 here. I think I'm gonna pass. The fight is a May. I think I'm just gonna pass though. I think without playing the worm, they might dig a little bit aggressively here, and then, like, maybe they attack next turn, and then, like, beep attack with the worm. And, like, anecdotal evidence would be looking at this game and going, oh, Jeff made a mistake, he should have Collision in his deck right now and not Lava Coil. You can always find what decks I've played previously on my Twitter account. I tweet all the deck lists that I play each day. Yeah, they know I have the worm and the Lava Coil. Oh, what are they getting back with this? I also really don't want to throw the worm in my bin until after the 3rd chapter on the Eldest Reborn pops off here. So we're dead, got it. So had these Lava Coils been Collision Colossuses, I'd have won this game by a lot. That's kind of how it goes. If I'd have saved the Incongruity as a removal spell instead of incubating, we might have been okay. Taking a Jadelight Ranger here. Yikes, Frestus Contempt. No, the reason for the Lava Coils is because I enjoy spending 2 of them to kill a Doom Whisperer. Onward, upward, backward, forward. honestly, these Tuesdays might help exemplify my point that you shouldn't worry about what you're playing and you should just play decks that you like. Because like I said, I think there's a very good chance that, like, even playing a bunch of decks that I like today, we just get run over a bunch. Because that's just how Magic happens sometimes. Your good decks are 56% instead of 52% or 50% or whatever. Your matches are still thin margins when your opponents are playing other good decks. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. It's got an elf on one. It's got all my colors. Boot this one. Boot it. Yay, Branchwalker. So, I think identifying the Explore package as clutter is actually misidentifying kind of what's going on in the format, Rogue. I think that there are a lot of decks that are capable of going toe-to-toe with the Explore package in lots of different ways, but most of those decks are unplayable in the face of Nexus of Fate. So I think the way formats work, other things that could be good are being kept in the unplayable camp because Nexus of Fate is a deck in the format. If they don't have a removal spell here, I get to Hadana's Climb, flip on the Branchwalker next turn, and then play Rootbound Crag and play Ravager Wurm to fight something. So if I block here, take 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, deal. Instead of having 4 Hinterland Harbor and 2 Rootbound Crag. The lands in this deck are determined by 2 things. One, there's the mana math as dictated by Frank Karsten's suggestions, or the hypergeometric distribution, depending on how you look at it. And 2, the second thing that gets considered with the mana in this deck is we need a critical mass of green lands to cast the card Llanowar Elves on the first turn of the game. So a lot of the decisions with the mana base in this deck go into 1, having enough colored sources to cast my spells consistently, and 2, the ability to cast Llanowar Elves consistently on the first turn of the game. So like green check lands are much worse than green shocks and forests because they don't cast elves on 1. I think this is a Brontodon matchup just because it's got a big booty. Hadana Climb usually comes out against the aggro decks. At least 1 Collision Colossus can come out here. Maybe it's 2, honestly. I'm gonna trim a Hydroid Krasis. He's a little slow. Slammer. You know, honestly, based on the texture of my hand here, like the contents of what we have going on, when they attack here, I think I'm going to take this trade. I think because I hit this second land, we're just going to like play Branchwalker and hopefully work from there. Like keep our health total high. Diva is a fellow streamer and a sub on the channel. I don't know if they're streaming right now though or not. Judy fruity. Oh, Judy. So, if I don't draw a meaningful spell next turn, I'll probably just play a Baby Krasis to propel ourselves into our 6 lands for Ravager Wurm. Apparently they have heard about my worm. Just gonna go ahead and do this for 2. I could shock this in and get an extra 1/1 on this, but I don't think it's worth taking 2 damage to make this 1/1 larger. Yeah, they usually stream before I pop up for the day. Is that good? What do we think of that one? Dunk. And like, even if the Wildgrowth Walker dies here, like we have a Hydroid Krasis to follow it up. So this is the style of matchup where a Hydroid Krasis is really shine, where they're like kind of mid-rangey. I'm actually gonna leave that there. So I wouldn't mind casting it next turn and have more creatures in play. Turn 2 Stormcrow. Thanks for checking in that Twitch Prime for a 6 month. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, we're 2 and 2. I guess one of the nice things is about me picking the decks instead of people having paid for them directly is that I can play these for as much or as little as I want. Oh, did I miss a donation? Is the audio issue on your end? There is no audio issue on stream currently, so if you are experiencing an audio issue, it is definitely on your end. That seems fine. Yeah, I like the look of the Blue-White Angels deck. If we keep just batting 500, we're probably gonna switch to that. Are we playing a mirror? Could be Merfolk. Looks like fish. I actually haven't played this matchup yet, so let's see how it goes. I have to imagine this matchup is bad for us. I do not accept every deck that gets submitted. Hey, Cinnabar. Thanks for the 4-month resub. Welcome back. Alright, well that's a good potential hit here. The fact that I don't really have any removal on my main, though, means the Kumena is probably just going to walk all over us. Feels real bad to bin that, but I kind of just need a land next turn. The Jushi, thank you for the 2-month resub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I just need to keep the board as thin as possible with Kumena in their hand. I don't accept or reject decks in chat. If you want to submit a deck, you need to do so using the form on my website. All the details can be found there. Okay, so we're saying there's a chance. I think the 4-color green pile deck is super reasonable. It's playing a bunch of just like good spells. Again, I think I just want to keep trading aggressively here. Just like the thinner the board stays, the more favored I think we are. That is actually a piece of removal for Cometa, so sign me up. 50%, just like everything else. Yikes. Oh. That was a big turn for them. Like I said, I think this matchup's probably bad for us. Their things get pretty big. Normally our deck survives against aggro by like being larger, but their deck not only goes wide, but also gets taller. The Merfolk deck's very good when you're not interacting with it heavily, and our deck just does not have a lot of removal in it. I mean, Sultai is good in this matchup because Sultai has a bunch of interaction in it. Our deck does not have a lot of interaction in it, so it's bad, like I just said. I don't think things get that much better for us post sideboard. We get a couple Lava Coils, but that's like not that big of a deal. So we're going to draw a card at our end of turn here. Probably fart the Biomancer as well. Exile this. Might be time to change decks for the morning. I'm done. Let's play some with the Angels deck. Team Reclaim. It's the same deck we've mostly been playing. I added a couple of, or added another Colossus because I have been happy with this card, even though we had kind of a medium run with it today. I don't know. Magic happens. You can play good decks and still do poorly with them, which I think, like I said, is going to be one of the good highlights from today, is that even when I'm playing decks that I want to win with, we're still not going to do that much more winning than we play like with random viewer submitted deck lists, because that format's got a lot going on in it. There's a lot of matchups that are very close, there's small margins, etc.